Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing out there? How are we feeling today on Thursday? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? So, I want to come on and talk about the process because this is a very hot topic this week in practice and something that I think a lot of people need to hear. And not just in what I'm doing, but I think in general in all practices, right? In all walks of life, in all modalities, in all businesses. I think this is something that a lot of people need to hear, and that is the process is very simple. And what I mean by that is the process in my world, the process to health is simple if you follow it, right? Um, it's simple if you trust the process. It's simple if you realize that you don't know what you're doing, right? And you just trust whoever your practitioner is or whoever is helping you. The process becomes difficult when you think you know everything. The process becomes difficult when you think you're better than it or you've got it all figured out, right? The process is not, and by this I mean the process of health, right? I don't mean I think when we start looking at things as a process of losing weight or the process um, of gaining whatever your like focus is, the true focus should be health. It shouldn't be on a singular goal, right? While that singular goal will happen over time, the true process is health, right? Just like if you're working in the car industry, the true process is what? It's selling a car, or it's providing someone with the vehicle of their dreams, or what have you, right? But how do you get to that process? You listen. You trust the person who knows more than you about that vehicle or about whatever. So in the health world, this is what I find very interesting is that the health world, people go, I'll just Google it. I know better. I know more, right? All the time. I know better. If you knew better, you wouldn't be where you're at. If you knew better, you wouldn't be going up and down, plateauing, what have you. And it wouldn't be such a roller coaster of weight fluctuation and emotional up and down and realizing that the body's always changing, but you don't know that because you're too stubborn, possibly, or too know it all that you think I've got this, right? And this isn't to be mean or be anything. It's literally to show you that it's a little bit insulting when someone comes to you and you've been working with them for, let's say, a couple weeks or even a month. And they come to you for a specific reason, and then they start to feel better. And then what do? They're like, I've got it. I'm out. And I'm like, okay, sure, that's fine. But the problem is that the body's going to change within a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. And then you go, and then people come running back and they're like, how come I'm worse? Or how come this is back? And I go, well, because you're not done. You're not done because you just felt good for a week. Like the point of this process is to get you feeling good, absolutely, and feeling like your body can heal itself and getting your body in a position where you don't need me as frequently or you don't need whoever you're working with as frequently. But to say that you know better is you're lying to yourself, and you're not. It's frustrating as a practitioner. I'm sure if any other of my practitioner friends are watching today, it's frustrating because we do a lot of research and a lot of work for our clients or patients, right? So when you and this goes for clients as well and practitioners both, I think we all need to realize that even though the process is simple, you still need help. And even though the process may be simple, it still takes a village to get you there, right? If there's one thing that I've learned over the past 34 years of living, is that it really takes a village. And the second that you think I've got it figured out, you probably don't. And you're probably full of pride. And you're probably full of, um, you probably just have this thought in your mind that you've got it under control when you probably don't, right? And it's really hard to watch as somebody who is here to help. But then I go, I can't force you to see something that I can't force that on you, right? I can't force you to see it. I can't force you to I can it's like that saying, like I can lead a horse to water, but I can't force you to drink it, right? I'm not here to prove anything to you, to anybody, right? So at the end of the day, like when the process starts working and you feel good and you feel better, and then you hop off the bandwagon because you think, oh, I'm good. Okay. Like there's one thing if I'm like, yeah, you're doing really well. Like maybe we cut back to twice a month or once a month or what have you. But in the beginning stages, I can tell you from healing myself, um, the first 2 years, it's it's every week, sometimes twice a week, right? Some depending on how rough the case, sometimes 3 times a week. Sometimes I have somebody 4 times, right? So it it really does depend on the person, and this isn't like to be hard. It's to be honest and be real in that we have kind of gotten into this place which has completely desensitized us. We have, because we all have Amazon Prime, right? We have expected our health to happen like this. And it doesn't happen like that. Health is a very, even though it's a simple process and the body unfolds as it needs to, it still isn't a, got it that next day. I press ordered, so I better get it next day. It's like a package. You want that 3 day shipping, so it better get here in 3 days. If it doesn't, I'm gonna start calling somebody and I'm pissed and da da da. We live in a world, we have gotten so manipulated and desensitized to what real health is, and to what patient we don't have any the people anymore just don't have any patience, right? They want things to happen right now, and I'm all about efficiency, but certain things, I'm sorry, you have to go through the process. You have to go through the simplicity of the ups and downs of healing, the simplicity of the ups and downs of life. And I think people try to get they try to cut corners because they want it to happen fast. I hate to tell you all this. You can't cut corners. You can't. It's not possible. I've tried. And I know many of my practitioner friends, if you're listening, I know you all can say, yep, tried to cut corners and it never works out for us, right? Because it doesn't work. You can't cut corners because at the end of the day, you're going to miss something. At the end of the day, you're going to frustrate yourself. And then at the end of the day, you are going to get trapped in thinking that you know how to do it, when in reality you don't. So I think the more people can understand that the process is like literally like you're in a valley, right? And it's a slow climb to the top of that mountain. And once you reach that mountain, you think, oh, I've got it. And then what happens is that you fall, right? And then as you fall, you're like, wait, I had it. Where's it going? Oh no, oh no, no. And then you're in that valley for a minute, which is where you just rest and you hold and you don't try to take action, right? And then as you slowly climb that mountain again, what's going to happen then is that it's going to take you a minute to get back up because you have lessons to learn, right? And I see this all the time in my younger clients that I train, and coach, is that they think they should be back up here. Why is this taking so long? It's taking so long because the last time that you climbed this mountain, you didn't learn the lesson you needed to clearly, right? And we all go through this, right? It's not just young people. We all go through this. Doesn't matter the age. We all go through this where if you're climbing that mountain, but you're not learning the processes along the way because you just want to get to the top of the mountain. You want that Amazon Prime package yesterday, so you better get up there and hurry up, right? You're not learning the process. You're not learning that it takes time. You're not learning that even though the process is simple, you tend to get in the way because you think you know better. Let me ask you something. Do you know better? Because I bet you don't. So my point in this is the process to getting healthy could take years. And you need to be okay with that. And you need to realize that all the stuff that you have done and the way you think and the way you handle in life, you have created. Let that sink in for a second. Everything you have created in your life, you have created. So you can stop blaming other people because you did it to yourself. That's real accountability. You're in a mountain of debt. Guess who did that? You did it. You're 10 pounds more overweight. Guess what? You created that. People go, well, Matt, I'm just stressed. Well, you created the stress. Nobody else created the stress. You can live in peace. You're just choosing not to. You can live in abundance. You're just choosing not to. You thrive on the chaos. You're not in a relationship, in a good relationship. Well, why not? Why not? Are you okay with yourself? Or are you searching for something outside of yourself to make you feel better, right? You need to deal with your own insecurities and your own, this is where people don't want to do the work. And it's frustrating. Part of the process of healing is doing the work on yourself. Part of the process of healing is realizing that I've created everything up until now in my life, right? I can be honest with you. I am a very generous person. I'm a giving person. I put out a lot of masculine energy a lot of the time because I thrive in that. But then when I find myself depleted, it's because I realize that there's two sides of this coin, right? There's the feminine side and there's the masculine side. When you're too masculine and you're giving, and you wonder why you're exhausted, it's because you haven't let yourself receive. You've just been too action. You've been too action oriented and too get it done oriented that sometimes you need to just go, I need to receive. I need to not try so hard. One of my friends actually said to me this morning, she said, do you ever find yourself gripping? And I said, yeah, I do. She said, that's masculine energy. You are trying too hard. You're forcing a square peg into a round hole. It's never going to work, right? And then she said, when you feel that relaxation and that release, that is the feminine side, right? Where you're not trying so hard, where you are just allowing things to what we call the flow state, so to speak, right? And I think a lot of us have trouble with that because we have been forced into this sympathetic nervous system state of fight or flight. And we don't know how to bring ourselves like out of that and come into the parasympathetic side of things, right? So sympathetic, masculine, parasympathetic, feminine. If you're always in that parasympathetic state, and then you're wondering why you're always stressed out, it's because you're not allowing that parasympathetic female side to come in, right? Masculine, give, action, go. Feminine, receive, calm, enjoy, right? Like there are benefits to both. And I will say this to you. I believe after having that conversation with her this morning, I truly believe that it comes from thought, right? So many people are just autonomous in life. They're just kind of walking through life, waiting for life to happen, or just so taking focus and taking charge in their life that they become so stressed out and are gripping so hard. They get constipated, they get bloated, they get all these things. And I hate to say it, but like this is where bloating, constipation, all these things, everyone thinks it's just about food or just about supplements or just about toxins. It's such an emotional, spiritual side of it too, of relaxing and releasing and not being so hard on yourself and not being so hard on other people, and realizing that you don't have to have it all figured out, that you need a team in your life to help you, right? If there's like finances, like if you don't know anything about finance, hire someone. Don't stop thinking that you can do it all, right? And again, I hate to say it, but we got into this society where we're so afraid to like, and it's so funny because when people are like, oh, I want loyalty in my life. I want people to trust me. I want people to, invest in me and blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, you guys, is that when you are so concerned about no one giving you that, it's because you're probably not putting that out for yourself. You're probably not putting that energy out that I don't know everything. If you have such a trouble with finances, gotcha. If you have such trouble with finances because you don't know anything, maybe you need to invest in that. Maybe you need to realize like, oh, I don't know enough about this, so I need to get education, right? And not be afraid to spend money and not be cheap and and spend money on education, right? Oh, I don't know enough about health, so I probably should. Knowledge is only potential power. If you don't put it into action, it's never going to work for you, right? So again, the process is simple. You're just not following it because you think you know better, or you're not following it because suddenly you think, oh, I don't need this anymore, or oh, what's it? Oh, I can cut the corner here, or you try to justify your whatever you're doing in life, right? Like, oh, I can't do this because I have to spend money on this boat or something, right? It's like priorities, people. It's all about priorities. When you start prioritizing the right things in life, you'll get that back. When you give loyalty, you're going to get loyalty. When you give trust, you're going to get trust, right? When you, it's like people who are like in small business, right? And they want people who are loyal. Well, are you loyal? Do you give your money to small businesses? Because then people bring money to you, right? Are you trustworthy? Because if you're not trustworthy with people's information, people probably aren't going to trust you with theirs, and then people are going to blab your information to other people, right? It's that aspect of drama that people thrive on. It's very strange, right? So again, trusting the process and realizing that the process is actually quite simple. You need to follow in the footsteps of people who have figured it out, and follow in the footsteps of people who are ahead of you. But when you think, and it goes for a lot of young people mostly, but there are some older generation that I'm like, okay, like clearly you think you know everything, that's fine. But especially in this younger population, you hear something and then suddenly you think, I know it now, I'm good. You don't. It's called mentorship, and it's called investing in yourself, and it's called investing in other people who have your back. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that we need to start realizing as a society that it's okay to invest. Stop being so afraid of investing in the right things and in the right people. And when someone does give you information, don't start thinking that, oh, you're the expert now. No, because you're not, right? Give credit where credit is due, right? If you want and expect loyalty in your own world, in your own business, in your own whatever, are you giving that out? Because I can guarantee you're probably not. If you're not getting loyalty, you're not giving loyalty, right? If you don't like people who are know-it-alls in your business or in your world, maybe are you it's a reflection on yourself, right? Like it's a mirror thing. That's why people always say, look in the mirror, look in the mirror. It's a reflection thing. So if you're looking in the mirror and thinking to yourself, well, why am I not getting XYZ? Well, look in the mirror. I know it's not cute, but you got to look in the mirror. Okay? So remember, the process is simple, but you need to realize that you don't know all things, and that's okay. All right? I hope you guys have a great day. Be well, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Peace.